So, very good morning to everyone. I am S. Kavita, MSc, MPhil, PhD, Hidden Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science, Shakti College of Arts and Science for Women, Ottanchitram, Tamil Nadu, India. Today I am going to take about a hippocampus in human brain. So, what is the structure of the human brain? So, human brain is the largest organ in the body. Human brain is composed of nearly 100 billion nerves which transmit in trillions of connections known as synapses. The processes such as thought, memory, and speech are controlled by human brain. The brain determines how human beings respond to stressed situations such as illness, professional problems, writing of an exam, etc. Two important cells which reside in the brain are neurons and glial cells. The glial cells are otherwise known as neuroglia. All the neurons share common regions like cell body, dendrites, axon, and axon terminals. Every regions have their own functions such that the cell body has nucleus which is responsible for protein synthesis. So, the brain structure is composed of three main parts, that is, the forebrain, the midbrain, the hindbrain, and the four which has each which has its multiple parts in the human brain. Next, we can see about the forebrain. So, what is a forebrain? So, here the first part is cerebrum. The cerebrum is also known as the cerebral cortex. The cerebrum is the largest part of the human brain and associated with higher brain functions such as thought and action. It is divided into four sections called lobes. They are frontal lobe, parietal lobe, occipital lobe, and temporal lobe. So, what is the frontal lobe? The frontal lobe lies just beneath our forehead and is associated with our brain ability to reason, organize, plan, speak, move, make facial expressions, etc. So, parietal lobe is located at the upper rear of our brain and it controls our complex behavior, includes senses such as vision, touch, body awareness, etc. Next, occipital lobe is located at the back of our brain and is associated with our visual processing such as visual recognition, visual attention, etc. The temporal lobe, it is located near our ears. It is mainly for perception, recognition of auditory stimuli. So next we can see about the midbrain. The midbrain is located below the cerebral cortex and above the hindbrain, processing it near the center of the brain. So the primary role of the midbrain is to act the sort of relay station of our visual and auditory system. So in its limbic system, it is known as emotional brain or childish brain. And thalamus, it is mainly for relay sensory information. Hypothalamus is mainly for regulating various functions of the pituitary gland and endocrine activity. Amygdala, it is mainly used for critical process for the senses. Hippocampus is mainly for memory forming, organization, and storing information. Pituitary gland is mainly used to link between the nervous system and the endocrine system. Next, we can see about the hindbrain. That is the last part of the brain. So here we can see about cerebellum, brainstem, and bones. So what is a cerebellum? The cerebellum or nettle brain is similar to the cerebrum with its two hemispheres and highly folded surface. It is associated with regulation and coordination of movement, posture, balance, and cardiac, respiratory, and vasomotor centers. Next, brain system. The brain system is located beneath the limbic system. It is responsible for vital life functions such as breathing, heartbeat, and blood pressure. Next, pons. Pons. The primary role of the pons is to serve as a bridge between various parts of the nervous system, including the cerebellum and the cerebrum. Many important nerves that originate in the pons, such as trigeminal nerve, responsible for filling in the face, as well as controlling the muscles that are responsible for biting, chewing, and swallowing. It also contains the abducens nerve, which allows us to look from side to side, and the vestibular cornal nerve. The medulla is regulating our involuntary life-sustaining functions, such as breathing, swallowing, etc. Next, we can see about hippocampus. So, the hippocampus, it is a small curved formation in the brain that plays an important role in the limbic system. The hippocampus is involved in the formation of the new memories and is also associated with learning and emotion. So it's mainly used for helps to understand and monitor a dementia, that is memory loss related disease such as Alzheimer disease occurring in old age people. So next, what is the hippocampus plays an important critical role in the formation, organization, and storage of new memories, as well as connecting certain sensation and emotion to all these memories. So, what are all the memories? So, next we can see about what is the hippocampus actions. They may be unable to remember some things that happened shortly before the hippocampal damage, but they may still remember things that happened longer ago. This is because the long term memories are stored in another part of the brain once they become long term. So, what are the main activities happens here? So, what is the main spatial activities happen in the hippocampal area? So, the rear part of the hippocampus is involved in the processing of spatial memories. The hippocampus also plays a role in consolidating memories during sleep. So, memories are not stored in the hippocampus for a long term. Instead, it is believed that the hippocampus acts as something for a shipping center, taking in information, registering it, and temporarily storing it before shipping it off to be filled and stored in the long term memory. Next, we can see about the hippocampus is one of the first area to be affected by Alzheimer's disease. An early sign of the Alzheimer's disease is when a person begins to lose their short term memory. They may also find it difficult to follow directions. As the disease progresses, the hippocampus loses volume and it becomes harder to function in daily life. So, what are all the functions happening here? So, it is a condition of a person who faces a decline in memory and thinking ability. It is categorized into amnestic MCI, that is mind cognitive impairment, and non-amnestic MCI based on thinking skill. So, Alzheimer's disease is believed to be caused by huge deposition of proteins around the human brain cells. The protein called amyloid forms plaque around the brain cells. So, another protein named tau deposit in the brain cells and form tangles. So, it is a neurological disorder which shrinks the brain and causes a brain cell to die. So, Alzheimer's disease is a progressive one which slowly kills thinking ability to human and memory. So, Alzheimer's disease is named after a neuroanatomist, Dr. Alois Alzheimer, who's reported the disease in 1906. So, age is one of the important factor of Alzheimer's disease. The chances of developing Alzheimer's disease becomes double every 5 years once people reach 65 years of age. The genes that have inherited from the parent contribute the risk of developing Alzheimer's disease, but the mechanism of Alzheimer's disease due to genetics and family history remain unexplained. People with Down syndrome can have more risk to develop Alzheimer's disease. It is related to 3 copies of chromosome and 3 copies of gene which creates metoamyloid. So these are all the hippocampus in human brain. Thank you so much for giving this wonderful opportunity.